Hello guys, welcome to my another video, welcome to my channel. In this one, I will be telling you a few things on Bubba. But before getting started, I would like to inform you guys that there are plenty of guides on Bubba around you here and there, and those made by popular streamers like Odds, Prabs, Aaron helps me a lot when I find something new to play with. And to be honest, my level is really nothing to them. It's like a competition between a fish and a sea. But while playing Bubba in DBDM, I have come across with a few things that helped me realize Bubba's playstyle. And besides, a few friends have requested me to make a guide, that's why I worked really hard on it. Hope you guys will face something new in this video. Alright, let's get straight into it, and don't forget to give it a like, share this one with your friends if you want to, and if any further questions need to be answered, just write them down in the comment section. I will try my best to answer them. Before discussing any further, I would like to tell you guys that Bubba can be played in two different ways. Number one is the M1 Bubba, and number two is the Chainsaw Bubba. Now for M1 Bubba, it is like every normal M1 killer, so there's nothing to discuss with it. Rather, you will find it very easy to master. I will tell you guys everything I have felt and noticed about the chainsaw. At first, I must tell you that mastering Bubba's chainsaw will give you the pleasure you cannot gain by playing other killers, because a perfect chainsaw gives a one shot down, and it's really beautiful. When I first made a chainsaw down following a survivor, I became very glad and was very pleased. Anyway, you guys can do it as well. Now to master your chainsaw properly, you have to increase your focus and must think about Bubba's hitbox. Just think, what does Bubba do? He just swipes his chainsaw from left to right and right to left. Now that is very easy when you have found survivors in front of you on the open ground. But what if they loop you around the shack, jungle gyms, or around any other loops? Now it is time for you to make a proper vision. Instead of playing M1, I would like to recommend you guys to use your chainsaw. But before starting your chainsaw, you must at first accustom yourself with the hitbox. This is nothing but a 3D invisible cage around Bubba. When you start your chainsaw around a loop, that cage moves with you. When you are moving by hugging a wall and have started your chainsaw, at that time imagine yourself captivated in the cage. Wherever you go, the cage will go with you. You can't get out of it. Now, since you have known about the hitbox, let's talk about the tantrum. So what is the tantrum? Let's imagine that you have bumped into a wall with your cage around you, partially or completely. Then you will find 4 or 8 random swipes of chainsaw given by Bubba standing in the same place. This will create enough time for the survivor being chased at the time to change loops. Being afraid of this, most of the players try to play M1. But once you have known the hitbox very well, you won't face tantrums all the time. But it needs hard practice. The second thing I'm about to tell you guys is about the motion of the Bubba's chainsaw. After starting your chainsaw, you must feel the moving chainsaw. For this I have sketched a diagram. It is 2D. In 3D, it looks like this. The plane marked by the arrows is where Bubba swipes his chainsaw. Visualize carefully that your body is inside of a cage and your front view looks like this. If you can remember these stuffs, there is a 99% possibility that you won't face any tantrums and can provide swift chainsaw downs. This plane also matters because suppose you are very close to the survivor, but he is going to vault a window. Now if you slightly increase the height of this plane, that is, if the swipe of chainsaw occurs a bit higher than the normal motion, you can easily down the survivor before vaulting the window. This was all about the basic concepts about Bubba. Now it's time to take a look at the control setup. For every killer, one must make a single simple control setup. which is common for everyone, because after getting accustomed to it, changing the setup will cause trouble for a few days until you are accustomed to it again. I have made a few experiments with the controls and finally decided that this setup will be much easier for you to handle Bubba. See carefully that while chasing a survivor we always have to focus on the screen. That is why no options should be put in the middle of the screen, and that's why I dragged all the options from the middle of the screen and placed them nearer to each of the sides of my phone, except the movement button along with the auto walk option and the interaction progress. I noticed a very useful thing, that is, while playing, your hands are limited to certain areas, especially in crucial moments of match. Since DBD is an asymmetrical 4 versus 1 horror game, that's why killers face these crucial moments more than survivors. Suppose all the chains are done and exit gates are opened and you have hooked only one survivor. Right that time, after getting rescued, that survivor takes the hit of borrowed time and teabags you and engages you to chase, and you down that survivor after a long chase before escaping. Right at this moment, picking the survivor up with the interaction button in the middle of the screen and looking for survivors waiting for the flashlight save cannot be done at the same time if your fingers are not that large. That's why for average players I find it very useful to move the interaction option to the area where I can use my fingers easily. Like this, I have broadened the options such as attack, power, ability, window vault, etc., as they are the rare options after initiating a chase. And since I rely very much on Bubba's chainsaw, that's why I enlarged the power button. See carefully that the power button and the attack button is placed one after another, so that you can use both chainsaw and hammer as per to the circumstances. And last but not the least, I have found that if the size of the movement button is reduced to an extent or is left at an average state, there won't be any problems in case of movements. This is my entire setup for Bubba. So, until this time, you guys have clearly understood that how does Bubba work. I have shared the basic concepts with you, and I guess so far you guys have grasped the meaning of hitbox of the cannibal and his chainsaw. Now I am gonna tell you guys a few things about the chainsaw. Point number 1. First of all, there are 3 tokens for the chainsaw without any add-ons in a normal match. When you start your chainsaw, the first token is consumed after 4 swipes, the second token is consumed after 3 swipes, and the third or last token is consumed after 4 swipes. Again, that's how you can make 11 swipes in total. After the first 4 swipes, tap immediately on the power button to initiate swipes of the second token, and after the second token is consumed, after the 3 swipes, tap immediately again the power button to initiate the swipes of the last remaining token. Previously, there was no token system. After tapping the power button while in chase, Bubba used to make 11 swipes in total. The main feature of this token system is to reduce the chance of facing tantrums. Besides, after making 11 swipes in total, a large cooldown of about 3 seconds used to take place. But after 4 swipes, if you don't use the other remaining tokens, then the cooldown won't be large. It will be around 1 second. That's how you are getting enough time to catch up with the survivor being chased at that time. Point number 2. Secondly, you must think about the tantrums. Now, what I'm gonna tell you guys must be remembered. While in a chase, if you face a tantrum just after the last swipe of the first token of chainsaw, you will face tantrums of 4 swipes. And if the tantrum occurs after the last swipe of the third or last token, you will face tantrums of 8 swipes. Point number 3. After 4 swipes of chainsaw, a slight increase of speed occurs. Now this is not a new thing because our favorite streamer Xrah has already mentioned this thing in his guide of Bubba. This speed boost helps to down a survivor or helps to catch up with a survivor if you don't face any tantrums after the 4 swipes. I will be talking about two things here. Number one, firstly, PC version and mobile version of DBD has different control setups. For PC, you use keyboard, but in mobile you have to depend on your fingers. So, it's a bit difficult for you to make a chainsaw sprint around any kind of loops, especially around shack or LT walls, jungle gyms, small or large pallet loops, or couch infinite at midwich. If you know the hitbox of a Bubba very well, then there's nothing to say. But if you are still trying to understand the meaning of it, then I will suggest you to move around that particular loop 3 to 4 times for better understanding. And after that, start your chainsaw. Number 2. Secondly, if any survivor is in the distance of 5 to 6 meters in front of you, only then start your chainsaw. Otherwise, all of the 11 swipes will be gone, but you will not be able to touch their hairs. So guys, with this, we have come to the conclusion of this video, and this is gonna be the end of my guide. These are all the things that I have found while playing Bubba. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't forget to comment to let me know how do you feel about this one.